Hello everyone. Today we are going to start a new lesson, lesson 8, Daddy Longlegs by Webster. Now the name is a bit weird and funny, Daddy Longlegs, but don't mistake it for the Daddy Longlegs, the fly or the spider. Uh, Although both of them are known as daddy longlegs. Here, daddy longlegs means a person. Now, why the writer calls this person daddy longlegs, we will know about it when we are after reading the lesson. So, daddy longlegs is Webster's best-selling epistolary. So, as the writer's name is given as Webster, we will also learn about her. But before that, we will learn about the introductory part. In that way, we will get to know what this story is about and why it is called as Daddy Longlegs. So Daddy Longlegs is Webster's best-selling epistolary. So what is epistolary? Epistolary is a novel or a storybook that is written in the form of letters or documents or articles. That means it is not written like once upon a time there was a king or a queen. It is not written in that form. It is basically written as when the king writes a letter to the queen or the queen writes a letter to the prince, and that way it proceeds. And by reading the letters, we get to know what the characters are about or what the story is about. So it is actually a very unique and a very interesting way to write a novel, and that is, I think, the meaning of epistolary is already given here, but you can search it in the Google. The best selling and the best known epistolary is Dracula by Bram Stoker. If you have read the book, then wow, that's great. But if you haven't, then you can look it up in the internet. The best-selling epistolary is Dracula by Bram Stoker, and it is and actually that started a trend of vampires from that book. And in that book, you will not find that about the characters or where the character was born. I mean, you will get to know about those things, but you will get to know them through letters. You know, there was a time before the phone, internet, texting. There was a time when people used to write write a lot of letters. I mean, they would write like more than 10, 12 letters every week. Oh, I mean, like some of them used to write more than 5, 6 letters every day. Now this letter writing thing has become rare. I mean, I think it has almost become non-existent, as we are very dependent on texting, writing emails. But this was like the art of writing letters was very unique and was very personal, and it would give you the details of everything. There was a time when people used to depend only on letters to know about their loved ones who would live in faraway places. You could say like when the British, they used to rule our country, they left their loved ones back in England, and they would write letters, whatever they saw, because they lived in a foreign land and they wanted to tell about these things to their friends. So they would write long letters describing the people here, the landscape, and everything. So earlier people used to depend on letters for every bit of information, just like now we depend on phone or internet for every bit of information. Earlier it was letters, and many history books, actually many historical facts, events, and incidents, they have been unearthed or people came to know about them actually through letters. Many historical events are the source of those information are actually letters. So epistolary, that means in this chapter you will find letters, and by reading these letters you will get to know the story. And also we know that it is not a good habit to read other people's letter without asking their permission, but here the due permission has been given, because these letters, this novel has been published, even adapted for stage play, so no problem there. So now I think you know what is epistolary. Epistolary is written in the form of letters. It is a form of novel or a story that is written in the form of letters. The most famous epistolary is Dracula, by Bram Stoker. You can look it up in the internet. It became popular both as a novel and as a stage play when Jane adapted it for stage in 1914. So this is like more than 100 years ago. This story is more than 100 years ago, 1914. Now it's 2020. So, sorry, quite old. And this became very popular and was even adapted for stage. That means there was performance over this story. So Daddy Longlegs is actually a very popular novel that is written in epistolary. So it's the story of the 18-year-old orphan. So it is the story of an 18-year-old orphan. Orphan, you know, a child who doesn't have, who neither has a mother or father. That means they do not. This child doesn't have mother or father. So orphan. Jerusha Abbott. So this is the story of an orphan named Jerusha Abbott who writes letters to an anonymous benefactor. So she writes letters to anonymous benefactor. Benefactor means someone who helps a person who helps another person by paying them money, by helping them financially. And anonymous means the name of this benefactor is not known. Anonymous means the name of that person is not known. So if someone gives you a letter and you don't know the name of that person, so what would you call that letter? Anonymous. So that is an anonymous letter. Sometimes there are many quotes, like very famous quotes, which the writer for those quotes we don't know, but we still use them because they are very catchy, and those are called as anonymous. So anonymous benefactor who is funding her college education. So this 18-year-old girl is studying in college and she is an orphan. So she has neither father or mother to pay for her education. But regardless, her education has been paid for by an unknown benefactor, someone who helps someone financially and is funding her college. Funding means that person is paying for the college fees, the various tuition and all. Jerusha names him Daddy Longlegs. So Jerusha, she has never met that person. She has never talked to that person. So that person is basically a stranger to her. And just see her luck. She's quite lucky because not only that person is a stranger, but that person is actually paying for her education. So kind-hearted, I would say. So Jerusha names him Daddy Longlegs, as she has only seen his shadow with very long legs. So Jerusha has never met this person, but she has had a little glimpse. I mean, maybe from where we don't know. Perhaps we will get to know in the lesson that. But she calls him Daddy Longlegs. Why? Because when she saw her shadow, in the shadow, the person had very long legs. So she calls him Daddy because usually daddies pay for the children's education. So she calls him Daddy, as she doesn't know the name of that person. So she calls him Long Legs because she saw in the shadow that he had very long legs. It might be optical illusion, but who knows? In the following extract, extract means like a literary section or some article that you take out from a larger piece, like you take out a small portion of like 1 or 2 paragraphs from a large article, from a long article, or from a novel. Like you take out only one chapter from the novel. So this entire lesson is actually an extract. Which is also called as excerpt. So this extract has been taken from the novel Daddy Longlegs by Webster. So Jerusha writes to Lady Longlegs about the beginning of her college education. So Jerusha, like I feel, in my opinion, I feel like Jerusha, she is very grateful to that person because she lost her mother and father, and without that kind-hearted benefactor, without that generous benefactor, she could not have gone to college. But because of that benefactor, now she has been taking education in the college, and she is very grateful and thankful to that person, and that's why she wants to express her gratefulness and to that anonymous, that means unknown benefactor, by writing letters. And we know that it is very common, like it would be weird or strange if you write a letter to someone like, dear unknown person. That would sound weird. You even though she doesn't know that person's name, so she just invents a name like Daddy Longlegs by whatever information she had of him, and she writes that letter and refers to that anonymous benefactor as Daddy Longlegs. It is quite fascinating knowing about people who are so generous that they help other people financially, but they also make it a point that that person should never come to know about their name. Like these are like truly generous person. You will hardly find this kind of people in today's world, although there are many anonymous donors. But nowadays, in this age of social media, people would donate like 50 or 100 rupees, and they would want to tell it to the entire world in their Facebook or WhatsApp. So this is like a lesson that we must see. Like when you help someone, it is not necessary that you have to tell it to every other person you know. You can help anyone by being anonymous, and that is the sheer happiness of helping someone. That is the gift that you receive only by giving. You know, there are certain feelings that you can have only by being kind to others, and this is a story, I believe, of kindness, of generosity, and how when you help someone with your kindness and generosity, how you make a difference to that person's life. We may not know that if we suppose we donate some money to someone, and that person might take that help, and that help might change that person's life in some way, and we would never know that. So this is this girl, this 18-year-old girl, Jerusha. Now she describes how her life has changed, how this anonymous benefactor has made a difference in her life, and so now we will proceed with the letters. We will proceed with the story. It is a very interesting read. I suggest, if you haven't read it already, I suggest all of you go through the lesson at least once before going to the video, before watching the video. I really advise you to read the lesson first. So let's start the lesson. Chapter 8, Daddy Longlegs by Webster. So here, you see how she has written. This is a letter to Mr. Daddy Longlegs Smith, 1st October. So before before discussing about why she has written Smith at the end, even though she doesn't know the name of her anonymous benefactor. But before that, let us see how she proceeded. To Mr. Daddy Longlegs Smith. That means when you write a letter, there are certain rules that you are supposed to follow. Like especially earlier times when letter writing was very common, people used to write letter in a certain order. They would not just start from, hey, I am here, how are you doing? They would not do that. They would write in a proper order. Here you see the order. To Mr. So at the very top left hand corner, you are supposed to write the address of the person you are writing the letter to. And here Jerusha has written the letter to Mr. Daddy Longlegs. She doesn't know the name, so she has written Daddy Longlegs. And below, and after writing the address, the name, you are supposed to write the date. That means the date and the time or the year. So 1st October. So she wrote this letter on 1st October. So after mentioning the name of the addressee, that means the person to whom the letter is addressed to, she wrote the date, and only after that she proceeded to write the letter with the word dear Daddy Longlegs. We always write, whenever we write a letter to someone, to a person, we always start it by using dear. It is a form of endearment. That means we are in good terms with that person. So dear Daddy Longlegs, or if you write a letter to your mother, you would say dear mother, dear father, and so on. So now let us discuss Smith. To Mr. Daddy Longlegs. We know that Jerusha doesn't know the name of her benefactor, and this is a letter to her benefactor. But even though she has named him, she has invented a name for him because of his shadowy figure, and the name she invented is Daddy Longlegs. But at the end she has written Smith. Now why did she write Smith? Perhaps she wrote Smith. She has written Smith because Smith is one of the most common last name in the Western countries, especially among the English-speaking people. And as this is an American story, so they are English-speaking people, and Smith is one of the most common last name. Like in our culture, like in you see in the Assamese community, Das is very common last name. In the Boro community, Boro is a very common last name. So in the among the English speaking community, Smith is a very common last name. So perhaps she gave him the name Daddy Longlegs. Now she feels like she also needs to give him a last name, and so perhaps she gave one of the most common last names available in her community, and that is Smith. And 1st October, I think you already know the meaning of Smith. So now let us proceed with the letter. Dear Daddy Longlegs. Dear Daddy Longlegs, I love college and I love you for sending me. I am very, very happy and so excited every moment of the time that I can scarcely sleep. So, Jerusha is writing to her benefactor, her unknown benefactor, because of whom she is in college now, that she has got this opportunity to study in college. And she is writing to him. She writes that she loves college. I love college and I love you for sending me. And she says that she loves college and she also loves him, her unknown benefactor, for sending her to the college. So she is so happy that she is loving the benefactor. She says that she loves the benefactor for sending her to the college. That means because he sent her to college and because she has found college to be so wonderful, she is loving every moment of every moment of her life right now, and I am very, very happy. See the two words, very, very. So she has emphasized on the fact that she is not just happy, she's very, very happy and so excited. Excited means when you are filled with joy, cheerfulness, like you are very happy, extremely happy. That gives you a feeling of excitement. That when you are excited, that means you look forward to good things in life. So see, I'm so excited every moment of the time that I can scarcely sleep. So in the college, as she is studying in college, she is so much in love with her college life that she remains excited all the time. That means she is in high spirit all the time. That she can scarcely sleep. Now scarcely means hardly. That means barely. She can barely sleep now. Like you see, so happy, like she can barely sleep. Like it is impossible to fall asleep when you are extremely happy. So just try to sleep while you were laughing. If suppose something makes you laugh a lot and you want to sleep, you will never be able to sleep, because when you are happy, when you are laughing, your body is excited, your entire being is filled is joy, and in that state you cannot sleep. So that is exactly what's happening to Jerusha. She is so excited for her college life. She is so happy that she is studying in college right now that she can now barely sleep, because every moment of her life is filled with happiness now. And also just now that I said you cannot fall asleep if you are too happy. It is true. Like try watching a comedy, if a highly comedy show or whatever, and if you are laughing too hard, and right after that if you want to fall asleep, it would be very hard for you to do that, because when you laugh too hard, the very next moment you cannot fall asleep. But that is the opposite for sadness. If you are too sad, you can easily fall asleep. So depressed people, they often want to sleep a lot, and that is just that is normal for them. And so now that Jerusha is saying that she can scarcely sleep, that means she's so happy all the time that she can barely sleep. She doesn't even get sleep now. You can't imagine how different it is from the John Grier home. So imagine, you know the meaning of imagination. Imagination is like forming a mental image. So now she is telling her benefactor that you cannot imagine how different it is. So she is telling him that her college it's very different from her previous home, that is the John Grier home. The meaning of John Grier home is given in the book as the orphanage where Jerusha was brought up. So as we know that Jerusha is an orphan, so she was brought up in an orphanage. Orphanages are a place. Orphanage is a place where children who doesn't have anyone to take care of them, they are brought up there under the supervision of wardens and other adult people, because you cannot just leave children on the street. And so in these orphanages, the children who do not have their parents, who lost their parents for some reason, they are made to live there. They stay there, and they get education there. They are given food, and they are given clothes to wear, because as a child you cannot just make a living. A 10-year-old or a 5-year-old child would not be able to make a living, that means to earn money and support herself or himself. So orphanages are there to take care of these orphan children. So the orphanage where Jerusha lived before coming to college, the name of that orphanage is John Grier Home. And she says that her college is extremely different. Her college, where she is studying right now, is completely different from the John Grier home where she used to live. I never dreamed that there was such a place in this world. So she could not even dream that there was a place like this college where she is living right now, where she is studying. That she could not even dream that there was this kind of place. I am feeling sorry for everybody who isn't a girl and who can't come here. So now she is feeling sorry for the people who cannot come to her college. So she is saying that her college is so wonderful, so great. Now people who cannot come there are like they are missing a very great thing in their life. And also she is written, you see, sorry for everybody who isn't a girl. So that means she is she's getting education in a girls college. So so boys are not allowed there. That means anyone who is not a girl cannot come to her college. So she is feeling sorry for those people who cannot come to her college. And then she goes on to write that I am sure the college you attended when you were a boy couldn't have been so nice. Now she is so comfortable in her college and so happy to be in the college that she's saying that to her benefactor that she says that he must have attended college when he was a boy. So she assumes that even his college, and that means the benefactor's college that he attended when he was young, was not as nice as the one that she is in now. That means her college is better, even is better than all the other colleges. Her college is even better than the college that her benefactor went to when he was young. So in short, this small paragraph says that Jerusha is very happy to be in college. She is very excited to get education. She is so happy that she is now living in college and not in her orphanage home, that is the John Grier home. And she says that she never dreamed that there was such a place like this before coming here, and that she is very, very happy.